The courtroom was silent until a crack split the air. A white police officer, furious and red-faced, had just slapped a black woman across the face in front of everyone. Gasps echoed through the hall. Cameras flashed. But what no one realized not yet was who she truly was. Not just another victim, not a passerby. She was an elected member of Parliament, standing trial for speaking against the very injustice that now burned her cheek. The officer's arrogance blinded him. His rage had written his fate, because seconds later something happened that would make headlines around the world and shake the system to its core. Watch till the end. You won't believe how justice finally hit back. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Her name was Amara Johnson, a 34-year-old member of Parliament from Birmingham, known for her calm authority and relentless voice against police brutality. She'd grown up in the inner city, the daughter of a factory worker and a nurse, who taught her that silence in the face of injustice was complicity. That morning, she had arrived at court dressed in black, calm but resolute. She wasn't the one on trial, but her words were. Months earlier, she had accused the local police of systemic racism after the unlawful arrest of a young black man who'd later died in custody. Her speech in Parliament had gone viral, exposing deep cracks in the justice system. Today's hearing was supposed to be routine, a procedural debate about defamation. But the air was thick with tension. Rows of officers sat behind the prosecutor, arms folded. Some smirked. Some glared. They weren't here for justice. They were here to make a point. As the judge entered, silence filled the room. Amara stood tall, her chin high, her eyes steady. Every word she spoke carried the weight of generations who had been silenced before her. She reminded the court of the facts, the bruises on that young man's body, the missing footage from the station cameras, the lies buried in reports. Her voice didn't shake, but her words did something else. They hit where it hurt most. The police officer at the center of the scandal, Sergeant Dale Whitmore, sat just meters away. A man known for his discipline and old-school methods, code words for something everyone knew but few dared to say out loud. As Amara described the corruption that had killed an innocent man, Whitmore's jaw tightened. His fingers twitched on the table. The prosecutor objected, calling her speech unfounded and incendiary. The judge cautioned her to remain objective. Amara looked up and said quietly, "Objectivity dies when the truth is buried." That line made headlines later. But at that moment, it made enemies. Whitmore rose suddenly from his seat, his face flushed. "You think you can talk to us like that?" he barked. The courtroom froze. The judge's gavel slammed, ordering silence. But Whitmore stepped closer. His hand shot forward, a sharp crack. Amara's head turned from the force of the slap. Gasps filled the courtroom. The judge shouted for order. Officers rushed forward, but none toward Whitmore. For a second, time stopped. Cameras flashed. The world watched a moment of raw, naked racism unfold in the supposed House of Justice. Whitmore sneered, "You people never learn." And that was his last mistake. The sound of her chair scraping back cut through the chaos like thunder. Amara rose slowly, her cheek red, eyes burning, but not with tears. With fire. Without a word, she took a step forward. Her movements were calm, deliberate, like someone who had already made peace with what came next. Whitmore laughed, his arrogance dripping like oil. "What, you gonna cry?" The cameras zoomed in. The crowd leaned forward. And then she moved, a swift motion precise as justice itself. Her fist connected with his jaw, and the sound echoed through the courtroom like a gavel of truth. Whitmore staggered back, crashing into the prosecutor's desk. Silence fell. The kind of silence that follows history-making. She didn't say a word. She didn't need to. The world would do the talking for her. Within seconds, officers swarmed her. But the public had already chosen their side. Phones filmed every angle. Her slap of justice would become a symbol. In that instant, the power shifted. The system that had always protected men like him was now on trial. By the next morning, every major network in the world was replaying the footage. The hashtags trended globally. Her stand with Amara, saws justice in black and white. The police department suspended Whitmore within hours. His record, once spotless, was suddenly under investigation, exposing years of abuse hidden behind paperwork and silence. Amara was detained briefly but released after public outrage flooded the streets. Parliament issued a statement, calling her actions unprofessional. The people called them heroic. She stood outside the courthouse days later, surrounded by hundreds of supporters. Her face still bore the faint mark of his hand, but her eyes burned brighter than ever. She spoke just once. "I didn't hit a man. I hit a system that's been hitting us for centuries." That clip would be studied, shared, and remembered. Her career, once threatened, was reborn as a movement. In cities across the country, people painted murals of her standing tall, fist clenched, not as a fighter, but as a mirror of resistance. Some called it justice. Others called it defiance. But history called it necessary. And as millions watched that final frame of her walking away from the courthouse, one question lingered in every viewer's mind. When the law itself becomes the weapon, who will be brave enough to fight back? Comment below where you're watching from, because this story isn't just hers. It's ours. Take care.